time that I could get it out.
You are that sick fuck.
Steve was pretty much excited. It definitely wasn't his first time. It was like, yeah, it's awesome. You'll get used to it, Chris. It gets addicting, but we'll take care of it.
When an inconceivably brutal crime rocks the small town of Mount Vernon, New Hampshire, police and residents alike are desperate to stop the monsters before they can strike again. But as the haunting case begins to unravel, they soon realize that no one could have prevented the truly evil acts that were about to be set in motion. As it would turn out, a group known as the Disciples of Destruction would stop at nothing to make their twisted dreams of violence, horror, and gore a sick reality.
Why they all got the same haircut, bro? What the fuck?
They look like your chatters.
What? No, they don't. My chatters are handsome.
Oh, no. Now I'm going to get in trouble.
Yeah, as fuck. You're a chatter.
I know.
What the fuck?
And yet...
Yeah, you're going to look like that tomorrow when we set up the fucking fundraiser.
Yeah, we'll see.
And we shave your head for $50,000, which you said already.
So now you brought it down.
No, it was always 50 grand.
No, because you said it should be higher.
I never said that. Austin Ox said that. You might have thought that that was me, but that's not me.
Okay, well, we'll see.
Don't worry. We'll 100,000 we'll kiss, okay? How about that?
100K we kiss?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to do that on stream.
Wait, what? We're not kissing off stream. What the fuck?
100K we'll kiss off stream.
So, again...
What's it like to interrogate a Hollywood celebrity? Who's Bryce Shear Gray? Okay, let's continue with this one.
Not everything went according to their plan. The killers soon learned that one of their victims was actually still alive.
I'm one of those type of gentlemanly chivalry sort of guys that you don't even hit girls, let alone go out and treat them badly. If the girl's in the hospital, obviously she probably got injured or something.
Well, Chris, it's funny you should mention that because I want to let you know she is going to survive, fortunately.
That's good.
Yeah, that is real good.
Home to around 2,000 people, Mount Vernon is most notable for its quaint and quiet reputation. With little to no crime, it was never expected that the tranquil town...
Wrong. It's always fucking places like this that have so much goddamn crime, dude. And, like, ones that rarely ever get solved, too.
It's just a sleepy town.
Yeah, they always...
no crime.
But it's always like that. It's always like, oh, man, that's crazy. I can't believe this, like, quaint little fucking town had a gruesome murder. And it's like, no, that's actually, it tracks. It tracks with the statistics. It tracks with the violence rates. If you look at per capita violence rates, like, it all tracks. It makes so much sense, as a matter of fact.
Town would be the setting of one of the most shocking murder cases that the nation has ever seen. Among the community lived the Cates family, including 42-year-old Kimberly, her husband David, and their daughter, 11-year-old Jamie. They resided among a beautiful neighborhood located on Trow Road, where the growing forestry made for a peaceful stretch of land. Kimberly was a pediatric nurse and David was an engineer. But the most fulfilling job that the two shared was being parents to the bright and outgoing Jamie. They were a happy family, but sadly, they could not have foreseen the horrors that were in their near future. It wasn't uncommon for David to travel on occasional business trips, leaving Kimberly and Jamie at home. But he'd installed an alarm system inside of the house that would contact the local authorities in the unlikely event of an emergency. And to further their peace of mind, Kimberly had also made an agreement with one of their neighbors, promising to keep an eye on each other's property. Although, due to the town's low crime rate, the idea that residents of Trow Road could be targeted victims of crime was never considered. Before David left for his trip on Saturday, October 3rd, 2009, the house's alarm system had unexpectedly malfunctioned, rendering it inoperable. Despite this, the family remained unconcerned. But as David walked out that door for yet another work trip, he couldn't have ever imagined that the world he knew was about to be tragically ripped away from him.
This guy's, the narrator's voice is insane, by the way.
So much.
He talks about this like it absolutely fucking slaps. Like he's just talking about murder, like the most gruesome murder, like it's a fucking Michael Bay production, you know? Yeah. This child was brutally massacred.
Another typical weekend for the mother-daughter duo, where they made plans to shop at their local mall the next day and possibly stop by Jamie's karate studio. At least, that's what Kimberly had messaged to David before she and Jamie went to bed around 8:30. Jamie would often sleep in her parents' bedroom while David was gone, and this weekend was no different. From the hotel in Maryland, David messaged his family a good night. Around 4 in the morning on October 4th, 2009, a chilling 911 call was made to a local dispatcher. The voice was that of a little girl, soft and quiet and very hard to hear. But what the dispatcher could make out was the whimpering cries of a terrified child begging for help. Unable to gain a clear understanding of what the little girl had been saying, a police officer was immediately sent to the address of 4 Trow Road. Upon arrival, the officer briefly searched the exterior of the home while waiting for the other squadrons to show. Before he was able to make a full circle of the property, he noticed a slight movement out of the corner of his eye, coming from inside of the house. Inching closer to the home, he peered through a kitchen window, where he located a vague image. Someone appeared to be hiding behind the counter. Locking eyes with the petrified little girl, the officer was overcome with a wave of horror at what was before him. The girl was lying on the floor, her entire body coated in blood, and a portion of her foot had been severed. Someone had maimed the vulnerable child. Breaking down the front door, the officer finally gained entry inside, where he found the little girl, shaking and paralyzed by fear. Horrifyingly, she was attempting to scream and yell. However, nothing was coming out. When she could finally speak, she quickly gave her name, Jamie. The officer immediately carried Jamie outside, where he asked if any other people were in the house. She responded by saying that only her mother was in the bedroom. However, in a heartbreaking plea, she begged him not to leave her side. The officer comforted the young girl, stating that he needed to search the residence for anyone who may be hurt, and promised that she was safe. Just outside, another officer made their way to the petrified Jamie, where they could see that not only had her foot been severed, but she had suffered multiple lacerations to her head, legs, arms, and torso. When asked how she received the injuries, she responded by saying, "Some guy had a knife and another one had a bat and he hit my mom." Horrified, the officer asked if Jamie had any idea of who the perpetrators were, and although she couldn't identify any of her attackers, she recalled that one had been bald. However, she also told the authorities, one of them said, "Get the jewelry." She then told the police that she...
Of course. I mean, yeah. Typical of bald people. It's bald activity. Yeah, I'll say it. Don't be afraid to say it. Yeah.
He survived by pretending that she was dead. Soon, additional help had arrived, and it was then that they discovered all of the appalling contents waiting within the home. Authorities were able to follow the blood-stained footprints across the hallway carpet that led all the way back to the master bedroom. What they found upon entry could only be described as a chamber of horror. Not a single member of law enforcement could fathom the massive amounts of blood that had encompassed almost every inch of the room.
Jesus.
And then they found something even more disturbing. The officers could barely stomach the absolute atrocity that was before them. Lying on the blood-soaked bed was Jamie's mother, Kimberly, who had been savagely murdered. Severely wounded Jamie was immediately rushed to the hospital, but there was no telling whether she would survive. Following the sickening discovery, the authorities were left with a mountain of questions. Most importantly, they needed to uncover who had unleashed such an evil attack upon a mother and her child. In an attempt to establish the motive, they began to search the house, and they discovered that various items of jewelry had been taken. In addition, they found that the basement window had been broken into, with the screen laying neatly on the ground. Along with this, the air conditioning unit that had been placed in a window above the deck was missing, yet another potential entry point to the home. South of the residence, tire tracks could be seen along the dirt pathway, and foot imprints were located within the front yard. As word of the brutal attack spread, the tight-knit community was plagued with fear. But what became even more frightening was the haunting whispers making their way to Mount Vernon from the nearby town of Brookline, only 20 minutes away. Apparently, a resident had been visiting a friend's house on Sunday, October 4th, and was introduced to a pair of young men, also from Brookline. Initially, the gathering seemed to be a harmless occasion.
Why are they blurred?
But that would quickly take a dark and unexpected turn. Within a
You don't
short
look
amount
bald.
of time, the new friends had divulged a sick and twisted secret. They claimed that they had just killed a mother and her child, while another set of friends watched.
Wait, who did
The
they
other
say this?
patrons sat in disbelief.
They said that randomly in Brookline, 2 dudes, neither of them bald suspiciously, said that they had killed a mother and a child.
Wait, were
As
they
they
not
listened-
bald, or were you just making that up?
No, those guys didn't look bald. I'm saying they were blurred, so I can't tell if they were bald or not. But
to what they thought had been a scare tactic from the two, or a cruel joke. But as you'll come to find out, the truth behind this harrowing case would only emerge after a series of horrific findings. It's possible that the high of committing the crime had worn off, so the assailants were attempting to relive the attack and experience that rush again by describing it to friends. They likely enjoyed the attention and shock from the others, and were potentially confident that there was no evidence linking them to the crime, suggesting that they may have believed
That's
that they were
crazy.
smarter than police.
there's always evidence linking you to the crime, man.
However, they weren't
Law tip. Can I give that? I give law tips all the time. I'm not a lawyer, but I give law tips.
Yeah, it's fine. You can say.
Yeah.
You can say that.
There's always going to be evidence that links you to the crime. You know what I mean? It's
God,
just
dude,
about.
This is 90 minutes.
It's just about like how stupid the cops are, and cops are very stupid. So
smart enough as authorities caught wind of the chilling rumors
Yeah.
and were in a mad dash to track
Buckle
down
in,
the
dude.
mysterious young
the
men.
the real shit is
They
going
would
to
turn
be
out
the
to be
interrogation
19-year-old
videos.
Christopher Gribble and 17-year-old Stephen Spader. One day after the horrific crime, they were each brought in for questioning.
Okay, they could be
It
bald.
was rather odd that Christopher, of all people, had been asked to talk with the police, considering his background. A longtime Eagle Scout, Christopher was a proud member of the Mormon Church.
Suspect number 1.
Yeah, just like, wow, it's so surprising that a longtime Eagle Scout and a proud member of the Mormon Church could do such a thing.
And was working towards his goal of becoming a missionary. He'd been homeschooled from an early age, where his parents worked tirelessly to instill the proper values.
I don't like
This had also
homeschool slander,
coincided
though.
with Christopher's
Why
time.
were you homeschooled?
No, I think that they get too much heat, honestly. What? Not this guy. Maybe, allegedly. Maybe.
I mean,
don't know.
I
We'll have to
slander
see.
homeschool all the time.
Why?
It's just not good for social development. I have people in this community that have been homeschooled, and they will admit that. They're the first to admit it.
I just think that they get a lot of heat. That, I don't know. I feel for them.
You're an advocate for homeschooling.
I'm not an advocate for homeschooling.
You're literally an abolitionist and a homeschool advocate.
No, I'm not a homeschool advocate.
Yeah, because you're pro-crime. That's why. Because you want more of this.
No, that's not true. Also, I will say, just generally, I don't love true crime, but
Yeah, because you live it.
sure, yeah.
Because you're
yeah.
a criminal. You do
No, I
crimes
think
all the time.
Yeah, okay. That's right.
Well, the angle here was supposed to be, I thought this was going to have like heavily feature interrogation
Yeah.
for the most part.
It seems to just be pure narrative
Yeah,
of
it's-
what happened
yeah.
in this horrific crime, horrific murder.
which is why I was trying to figure, like, I thought that this was going to be more interrogation. I wanted you to like, because part of the reason why I like watching these videos, especially the interrogation heavy ones, is like, I love making jokes about how bad the cops are. Because like oftentimes it's like dumb versus dumber, where like obviously the dude who did the crime is like really fucking brain broken, and then the cops are also so stupid that they rarely ever, like, it's about who is dumber in the room,
okay.
like who is going to reveal more shit. It's a race to the bottom, really, which is why I like watching these.
I'm
sorts
in the
of
Boy
things.
Scouts,
and that's what I thought we were
where
going
he'd
to get
given
to
back to his
eventually.
I think it gets to it. I'll also say that, in a person in an interrogation room, besides the fact that like a lot of people are, coerced confessions, false confessions, misremembering, stuff like that happens. It's a really stressful environment for a person when they're talking to police officers, they've been taken into custody. There's these guys, they've got guns. Sometimes, you know, they got their hand on their gun and stuff. Like, it's a very, like, I don't think people shouldn't underestimate how stressful and crazy that situation is for people.
No, not me, dude. I'd fucking, I would,
Not
I would rhetorically dance around them, dude.
Yeah, you'd
after
crush it.
my murder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You blew into that thing 11 times, you said.
Yeah.
You danced when you blew into it. You were like,
did.
okay, sorry, I'm going to blow into it again.
What do you mean? What am I supposed to do? I'm fucking.
Don't blow into it.
Bro, I was literally, what? No, then they can like take your license
Get
away.
'em. Yeah,
they can. In the state of California,
Yeah,
in the state of California, if you can refuse to take the breathalyzer test,
No, I know.
but
Yeah, I know.
lawyered.
I'm just giving you
I just
shit.
fucking lawyered your ass, dude.
All right, well, calm down.
Community, supposedly building a shed for the Brookline transfer station, a drop-off site for waste and recyclables. Although things weren't always as picture-perfect as they seemed, it was no secret that Christopher had struggled with the social portion of his life, where making friends became an almost impossible task.
Oh God, it was a
The few that he did have recalled his awkward demeanor and tendency to ramble during conversation. On top of this, social cues were somewhat of a foreign concept to the Eagle Scout, making for a rather difficult childhood. Human beings have a fundamental need to connect with other people. When someone is unable to or has great difficulty forming even platonic relationships, this can be a red flag for a personality disorder.
Imagine.
Nonetheless, he carried on with his aspirations of one day becoming a Marine.
Another red flag. Immediately. 2 red flags in a row. It's over. Lock them up. I'm also the vibes police. That's what I do advocate for. I don't want to abolish police because I want to be the vibes-based police.
Okay.
Where, like, if I vibe check you and you got bad vibes, you're going to jail.
Okay. And that's the entire system?
Yeah. Like, wanting to join the Marine Corps, bad vibes.
Okay.
Probably should incarcerate this guy, re-educate him.
Okay.
Until he doesn't think crayons are delicious.
What about a guy who, like, wears a lot of Hawaiian shirts?
Oh, fine. I mean...
Fine.
Yes and no. So if it's because I like wearing a lot of Hawaiian shirts.
That's right.
So if it's like if you're like a chill dude and you're wearing a Hawaiian shirt, that's fine. If you're wearing a Hawaiian shirt and you got like a tactical vest and you know you're just like
what is that called? The
Boogaloo Boys.
Oh yeah, those guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Then it's like you don't pass the vibe test. You're going to jail. As long as the Hawaiian shirt isn't $300, yeah. I mean, I would never purchase a Hawaiian shirt that's $300. Mine was, what was it? I don't even remember. It was $1,000.
Enrolled in the U.S. Army Cadet Corps Group in Nashua, New Hampshire. There, he won the Academic and Good Conduct Honors Award. Unfortunately, the excellent student would find himself failing out of the training course in 2008. It was around this time that Christopher's friends and family noticed an odd shift in his behavior, and you'll soon find out exactly why that is. The date is October 5th, 2009. Only one day after Kimberly's body has been found.
See, so, okay. Okay. I'm fine watching this. I just, like, I want to be clear that I really don't like true crime. But I think, like, it's also hard because he's got this scary voice and he's like, and then the heinous thing that happened next, like, you wouldn't believe. Like, you hear his story, right? And, like, there's all these signifiers of some, you know, obviously that's what this person is, like, trying to get at. But... like it just kind of, it makes me sad. Do you know what I mean? Like it like I do you know what I'm saying? Like that's also
no, I know.
Sort of like why I don't like this stuff
because there are
I don't want people.
You're seeing that as multiple points of opportunity for rehabilitation before something severe happens.
Yes, exactly,
right? Exactly.
So
Society failed this person. Every criminal technically is someone who has been victim to the oppressive constructs they exist under. I do recognize that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Found. The detective reads Christopher his Miranda rights before jumping right into the much-anticipated interrogation. The following never-before-heard interviews have been analyzed by a qualified team, including a licensed attorney, a licensed clinical psychologist, a former licensed professional counselor, and a licensed professional counselor.
What time do you get up Saturday morning?
Probably 10-something.
Okay.
Me and Steve had got...
Why do they put that? The following video is not legal advice. Do not rely on the information in this presentation without speaking to a licensed attorney.
I don't know. Is he talking to a lawyer?
I don't know.
Plan to go around and look
No,
at
it's
some
a
yard sales.
crisis counselor.
The pair of friends had supposedly visited
detective.
a couple of local yard sales, but were unable to find anything worth purchasing. Following the unsuccessful shopping spree, Christopher drove Stephen back home.
It's always
But this wouldn't
always
be the last
right
that they
before a
see of
murder.
each other on this day.
As you get closer to Saturday evening now, you guys making plans? Saturday night, you know, weekend night, you're gonna go do something?
We were gonna just all chill like at Walmart or something.
Mm-hmm. Who do you chill there with? Who you hang out with, you guys?
Me, Steve, Billy, Quinn's a friend of ours, but he couldn't get out that night.
Okay.
He tried and, you know, he ended up having to stay home.
Okay. Is that what you guys actually end up doing?
Well, we went over to Walmart, but
Chill at Walmart, bro. Some of you very clearly are bicoastal elites, and it shows. Okay. Yeah, motherfucker, if you live in a town where like 80% of the town are your fucking relatives and shit, in like a 2,000 person town, yes, you go to the Walmart parking lot and do drugs. There's not really anything else you can do.
Yeah.
That's how you know. That's how you know it's fucking rural, okay? Also, maybe this is the Ameribu Turkish guy in me, but I do love going to, you know, big
You love Walmart.
grocery stores. Yeah.
You love Walmart.
I love Walmart, especially their business practices. They're so excellent.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean like I've been very open about this. I've talked about this a lot, but I love the concept of like being able to buy 38 different brands of Oreos, even if I'm not going to eat it. I like it being there.
Just for you.
Yeah. And for everyone, I think that it does have a very good sedentary effect. Like it creates it sedates the masses.
And you like that.
Yeah, it's a mechanism of control that I find to be much more peaceful than the alternative, which is enforcement. You should be on board with that.
Yeah.
Like authoritarian enforcement. Because
What's
there's
your
always
favorite-
going to be
What's your favorite Oreo?
double stuff.
Yeah, but like just double stuff straight up.
Yeah.
You don't fuck with those mint ones?
No. Okay, see, vibes based, going to jail. Like you would be going to jail. You're in
those.
You're it. Yeah, I'm the vibe police. You are absolutely in jail.
Oh, I don't
You are
know.
under the
Oh,
jail.
people don't like
Keep
them.
talking about it.
It's not popular.
Your jail sentence got
I don't
10
care.
years longer.
I'm gonna eat it.
That's insane. No, jail.
Billy, I guess, had stuff to do, so he didn't get there till later.
Mint is for adults. First of all, no, that's like I chew gum all day. I love mint. Okay, I love mint in my tzatziki. I love spearmint. I love all forms of mint. I don't even hate like the little minty chocolate that they give you in a nice hotel. Okay, they put it on your pillow like an afternoon nightcap. Okay, that's fine. An Oreo, like a minty Oreo, is the worst form of what you're talking about. You cannot advocate for mint Oreos and claim that it's for adults. We're talking about a fucking Oreo, dog.
I think I agree.
Wait, what?
I think it's for adults.
Oh,
So
I thought you were going to say you agree with what I'm saying.
no.
Yeah, no, I really love toothpaste cookies.
It's just not for you.
No, it's
And that's okay.
Yeah, it should be
Don't
for
yuck,
no one.
Don't yuck my yum.
No, absolutely. I think that if you like that, jail.
Okay.
Vibe-
Putting a
yeah.
lot of people in jail.
Yeah,
Putting
vibe
a lot
prison.
of- okay.
That's why I love America. It puts the most people in prison.
Okay.
When the detective questions Christopher about whether that's actually what they did, Christopher avoids answering the question directly, which is a red flag for possible deception.
Oh,
He
please.
may be trying to buy some time to
Oh,
think
they
about
do a
what
lot
he
of
should
that.
say.
That's part of the
In
reason why I
addition,
wanted
he
you to.
mentions two new people, 17-year-old Quinn Glover and 18-year-old William
They will
Mark.
always they will look at an interrogation and be like, well, he sneezed here, which means he's guilty of murder.
He's very nervous when these two cops are yelling at him.
But also, well, one, I like to suspend my disbelief for a moment when I watch some of these things to just like go along with it a little bit. But also, they're operating with the knowledge of what happened.
Sure.
So they're ascribing these like, pseudoscientific body language shit to it's not a cold case. You know what I mean? It's something that has already been concluded.
Marks, also known as Billy, who'd been part of a friend group with Christopher and Stephen.
That's why they can get
Although
away with
Billy
it.
and Christopher had only just met a week prior.
You and Steve went to Walmart, and then Billy met up with you at some point?
Walmart.
I think we did. I'm pretty sure it was this Saturday when we did.
Okay.
Christopher uses a selective memory statement of I think, and then a qualifier of pretty sure.
Come on.
Which are additional red flags for possible deception.
I mean, dude, that's red flag.
Yeah, he's just relaying information to them.
Are you pretty sure about that?
I think this.
Red flag.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you should go to jail for your Oreo mint take. Okay, there you go.
He's describing was only 2 days ago, so it's something he should remember and be
It won't go
certain
up any
about.
higher.
He may realize that if he wants to play it off as though he has a bad memory, then he needs his memory to be poor on days that don't involve crime and murder. However, the detective will likely be able to confirm or deny Christopher's recount of events based on possible surveillance footage or eyewitness statements, which Christopher may be realizing now.
And this is sometime around midnight that you meet Billy?
Yeah.
How long were you guys there beforehand?
I
Well, we
see.
didn't stay.
I'm not gonna lie. I see like 4 dudes that look like this. I throw them in jail.
Pick those guys up.
Yeah, no, I'd be like, nope, that's those guys. Don't know what the crime is. Don't care. Probably did a crime. Throw them in jail.
Yeah.
Why did they buzz their hair like that?
I don't know. It is kind of.
Fucks up with that.
kind of crazy.
The
Is that just
vibes-
how they all look?
Dude, the vibes are so off,
they
dude.
Are, the vibes are quite
The
bad.
vibes are so fucking off. This is like the MS-13 face tattoo of white dudes, okay? Like someone in the chat said this is the El Salvadoran approach. This is my American, okay, Heartland America approach. I see like
You know what? I think
I see a gaggle of white teenagers that look like this. I'm like, I don't know about that.
You know what? I'd like to go back. I'd like to backtrack on what I said. And you know what? Maybe it's just a group of guys. One of them got a haircut, and the other guy say, "Hey, Steve, I like the way that looks. You look pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and shave my head." And then all of a sudden, it's just a group of guys with a similar haircut. You know what I mean? It's not that. It's not. Crazy.
It looks like 3 different dudes that watched Andrew Tate and like went bald because they love Andrew Tate like fucking Aiden Ross. That's what it looks like to me.
I think they look good.
You're just saying that because I'm gonna buzz your fucking hair tomorrow.
No, those guys. Yeah, it's a good look actually,
Yeah.
and maybe more people will get into it.
Yeah, no, I hope not.
Completely at Walmart. To be honest, I didn't really put it to memory much.
Yeah.
I remember we were hanging out, but I don't remember doing much of anything.
Someone who's being deceptive
They
is
keep
more
using
likely
this
to give
picture.
evasive answers.
I mean, it's
They
not a
want to
great
leave open the
Yeah.
possibility to change their
Vibes
story if
based.
needed, such as if a detective presents evidence that they were actually somewhere different than they said.
Why did he take that photo?
He was showing somebody his knife.
You can't.
I mean, I probably have a photo of me like holding a knife at the camera.
I'm just saying, like, if you're sending someone a knife photo, don't make that face. You know what I mean?
He's just
Especially
happy.
if you're planning on doing a murder later.
Well, we don't know that he was planning on doing a murder. We don't even know.
Maybe
that
he
they-
didn't think about it
they
at that
did do
point,
the
but
murder.
he does look like he was thinking about doing a murder.
I think you're imputing a lot of things, you know, just based on a couple pictures and a overeager narrator with a spooky voice.
Yeah, which is vibes-based policing. That's yeah, red flags all around.
Okay.
If a suspect gives a
By the way, we joke, but like the vibes-based policing is American policing for the most part.
But yeah,
But,
well,
like-
far worse.
but they're
the,
vi-
the vibes are racist.
Yeah, but the vibes are also super racist, and that's kind of how they do it. And then it's just like I feel like it's a lot of ad hoc and post hoc rationalizations that they tack onto to justify the vibes.
a definite alibi with no room for alterations, then it'll be
feel like-
much more difficult to adjust the
What?
story.
Nothing. I think after this stream, collectively, the abolitionist community is going to exile me.
They're gonna disown you. Well, they
Like-
probably they already hate me, so welcome.
I'm up next.
Later on. In addition, Christopher may feel like he needs to be cautious about what he says in case one of his friends gives a different account. Next, he states
They already did because of the mint comment, buddy. Yes, dude. True.
that they made their way to another friend's house, 19-year-old Autumn Savoy. At Autumn's, Christopher recalls that they watched the popular show Dexter and he begins to describe his fascination with the series.
Who gives, you know?
Another vibe failure.
That is not a vibe failure. We like Michael C. Hall. Oh, no, we don't. Maybe we don't, actually.
Also,
I don't know.
Wait, what? Why? Is he like canceled or something?
I don't know. I think he might be.
Damn, that was such a TikTok moment of you to just like fucking say you like someone and immediately go, oh, maybe not. What if they've done a crime? Like, okay, well, you didn't know. Who cares, man? It's okay. You can say that.
Basic principle, I think, is
I'm just worried that the TikTok abolitions are going to come after him.
Addicted to like blood and stuff. He really likes blood, and because he kills people too.
Okay, the one thing I will say is this. Why are you bringing that up in a fucking interrogation? Like, are you trying to look like you did it? Like, I don't understand.
I mean,
I'm so mysterious, dog. I fucking love Dexter. A guy who is a serial killer.
We're hearing snippets of an interrogation. We don't know how long exactly it went on for. Sometimes they have people in there for hours. They maybe don't give them water and food. They can be delirious. Again, it can be extremely high stress. You know, you don't know exactly what you would do in that situation. Not saying that you've done some horrible thing, but like, you don't know. And like,
nah, not me, dog. I would never bring up Dexter.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
I'd be like, I like all the shows where there isn't a serial killer. See, I just got away. With it.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I'd be like,
and then they'd be like, "This is not the guy."
Yeah, they'd be like, "Oh fuck, damn, guess we got the wrong guy." Exactly.
Because of that, which probably sounds really bad in a homicide investigation, saying like, "Walk."
I mean, he fucking recognized it.
Yeah. Okay, but that's something I would do. I think maybe if I was being interrogated.
If you were being interrogated for a murder after you committed a murder.
I think first of all, we don't know. Second of all, I would definitely say something like,
you don't have to do public. You don't have to.
I'm not. This is my position.
You're like defending this guy.
This is my position. Okay?
You can't stop him.
That's why you brought me here. Okay.
He can't turn it off.
No, I'm not gonna sit here and watch
my
clients be besmirched. Okay, by this.
Yeah, well,
charlatan.
Whoever was defending him didn't do a good enough job, I think.
It seems like,
being honest, like, we find it really entertaining because he works as a blood expert for the police department. And he goes out when he finds people that they either can't get evidence on or somebody who's done something really incredibly evil.
Generally smells awful. I'm sorry.
And he goes out and he kills them in this ritualistic fashion. But it doesn't really like show him killing them or anything.
What comes off as somewhat creepy is Christopher's interest in the character and the fact that he's going into such detail about the show. It seems that he doesn't think this will make him look at all suspicious, even continuing to state that they watched several hours of the show before he and Steven slept in his car, which the detectives find to be rather odd.
How come you guys didn't sleep in the house?
There's only like 2 couches inside.
Yeah.
And so we just hung out in the car because it holds in heat pretty well.
The pair had supposedly left Autumn's place around 7 or 8 in the morning before Christopher drove Steven back to his house. They met again later that afternoon at 1:30 and visited more local yard sales. It turns out that they were in desperate need of money, and, just as their luck would have it, Christopher stated that they were able to purchase a decent amount of jewelry for only $20 from one sale in particular.
Dude. What the fuck?
Now, we will find out exactly what they did with the newfound merchandise, while getting to meet our additional suspect, Steven. The detective asks similar questions to that of Christopher's interrogation, where Steven gives the same story.
I just went downstairs and discovered that someone at the mall, you and somebody else went down there and pawned some jewelry. Is that right?
I didn't. My friend did. Chris did.
Chris did. You were with Chris and you guys went there.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody recognizes you as being there.
Okay, I was there.
Okay.
We went down to pawn some stuff at the jewelry. I don't know why that's illegal.
No, it's not. No, you know, part of what we've done, we're trying to create a timeline of where
he's being defensive about pawning a jewelry, which is a real indicator of crime and criminal activity.
Absolutely.
Yeah, see? Now you're getting into it. That's what I'm talking about.
You told us, you know, what was it, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, you said you were at Walmart on 101A and Amherst. But We're going to go back. We're going to check that. Okay, he says he was here. He was there. Okay.
When a suspect acts defensive, such as Stephen is doing here, this can be a red flag for deception, but his age may be a factor in his behavior.
See, they're
The
understanding.
logical part of the brain, known as the prefrontal cortex, isn't fully developed until around the age of 25.
It's actually,
and even a few years
40.
later for
It's
men,
actually 40.
which
Wait,
can
really?
No.
What the fuck? I was gonna say you're grooming a 37-year-old. If that was the case,
partially explain why teenagers and children tend to act based on their emotions rather than thinking things through. It's also possible that Stephen sees the interview as a big inconvenience for him.
Well, what did Chris call?
Let me see, I had some new gold necklaces. I didn't really look at it.
Okay.
He told me it was worth money, and I needed money for weed. To be honest with you.
Okay. How much?
damn, bro, he said money for weed. What the fuck, dog? That's a cop. This is why you don't talk to cops, right?
I mean, yes, I'm wondering, you know, what the situation is in terms of how they picked him up. And, you know, this happens sometimes where people think that it's like a harmless thing. Oh, just come talk to us.
It's never harmless.
Don't go down to the station, baby. Okay. We're not talking to the police.
without a lawyer.
Sure, right. If your lawyer's there, that's fine, but I want my lawyer. You need they you know, this isn't legal advice, but if you say I want my lawyer, I'm not speaking to you without my lawyer, they might hold you for some period of time, but they can't talk to you without your lawyer. You know what I mean?
What if you don't have money for a lawyer? What do you do then?
Babe, that's what I do.
So that's the point. Like you just go, I don't have money for a lawyer, but I need a lawyer.
Well, if they're actually going through a criminal process where they're going to, you know, put some charges up against you, then you're going to actually go to court. And if you don't have the money for a lawyer, a public defender is going to be assigned to you, which is me. That's where I come in. If cops are investigating something and they pull you off the street and they bring you in, I know it can be very, very stressful. And it's really hard because people, even if they know this, like intuitively, they didn't do anything wrong and they just want to help.
They want to
clear their name. They want to clear things
innocent.
up. The cops don't care. The police do not care necessarily that like you did or didn't even do this thing. They're just trying to find the person where they're like, this is our guy. We're going to book him. Boom, boom, boom. It's all done. They don't care who they're, you know, putting in jail. They just care that they're getting somebody for the thing. And if you're that guy, great, you're the guy. So don't talk to the cops. Oh, speaking of which, oh, damn it, I didn't bring it.
What?
Nothing.
What did you? Okay, you can bring it tomorrow.
I'll bring it tomorrow.
How many necklaces do you remember?
We had like two or three. Like $130 worth of gold.
Christopher and Stephen had only recently become friends again after previously meeting during their time in the Boy Scouts. Years later, they would somehow reconnect, bonding over the same
interests. The interest being murder. Oh, dude, that's right.
interests.
Fucking got
and
him.
Stephen, just like his friend, had grown up with issues of his own. As Stephen's mother was allegedly struggling with addiction during her pregnancy, Stephen tested positive for illegal substances upon his birth, but would go on to beat the odds and was adopted by a loving family at only 5 days old. During his childhood years, Stephen was a picture of happiness, outgoing and personable, given every opportunity in life. He participated in various sports and joined both the Boy Scouts and a theater group, all of which gave him the chance to make friends. But once he approached his teenage years, it was like a switch had gone off. In an instant, the once lovable boy turned cold and became uncontrollable.
You know, people
This would later be...
people with you know, mental health problems are fundamentally unlovable. That's what he wants you to know.
Oh, that's okay. I was gonna. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're embellishing. That, I mean, that is on a list of things that are like horribly wrong with this video. That
once lovable boy.
That literally did it. I didn't even realize that was like a thing that was upsetting because every other aspect of it is like also just as bad, if not significantly worse. But yeah, that's like the whole point of true crime. You know what I mean? That's what they're doing.
Confirmed through one of his close friends, Autumn, who had much to say about the troubled young man.
I just knew Steve was getting worse from talking to him. And then...
Narc, what do you think about this?
Autumn, he just wants
Snitching.
clout. He wants clout.
But he can't, his face isn't even shown here.
I know, so he's an idiot.
Yeah, he should have been like, yeah, here, this is my photo.
Put my face up there.
Yeah.
At some point, he went away. I don't know exactly where. When he came back, he was not the same person. He wasn't that emo kid who had issues at home. He was this kid who wanted to be a gangster, a big drug dealer. Like, it was odd because somehow he always managed to have money for drugs.
Bro,
he would sneak out at night.
You got comfy with it so quick. You got so comfy with the blicky, dude. You went from like, oh man, I can't. I'm a lawyer. I can't touch the gun. In New York, it's illegal to even look at a gun because it's like, you know, pussified. You said all those things, and now you're like waving it around, dude.
Borrow his parents' cars.
Everybody going hands
like
up.
We'd hang out a lot. He was someone I could talk to. It's nice to have someone else who understood.
His mood swings could happen in the blink of an eye, leaving his friends and family to walk on eggshells. But even worse, Stephen was developing violent tendencies. His mother, Christine Spader, noted that at one point, Stephen had punched a wall out of...
I mean, that's like, you know, that's like a very Kyle thing to do. You know what I mean? You got to punch some drywall. That's like, it's a normal part of the process.
Have you ever punched a drywall?
No.
Really?
Have you?
No.
I punched windows.
Did they
I punched
break?
a window before. Yeah.
You were upset?
It fucked me up.
The window?
Well, when you punch a window, it has the capacity to fuck you up.
For sure, because it like slashes you and stuff.
Yeah. See this?
Yeah.
That's from a window punch.
What was going on?
Not for a crime, by the way, allegedly.
Well, that was the first flag in your descent into madness.
Yeah. It just fucking, dude, it was spraying. It was like right on the vein, as you can see.
Gross.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Did you talk to somebody about it?
No.
Maybe you should. Maybe we could talk about it after the stream.
I just, you know, I just pushed it down.
We could talk about it after.
That's what you got to do. That's the healthy thing to do is like you push it down and you drink. That's not legal advice. It's spiritual advice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sheer frustration. During a most memorable incident, Stephen and his father were having a heated argument, and the teenager, engulfed in rage, allegedly pulled out a knife.
He saw LGBTQ flag on the window. Sad. Yeah. Okay, dude, you don't have to out me like that. You know what I mean?
He started to associate with kids from different high schools, where he apparently joined a gang known as the Crips.
What?
Although his father, also named Stephen, believed this to be nothing but teenage nonsense.
Yeah, bro.
In addition, he would take recreation.
He joined the Crips fucking New Hampshire division. Like, literally, what the fuck is he saying, dude?
You need that representation in New Hampshire.
What the fuck?
Like the Crips? Or just like a chapter?
Yeah,
Are
the
they
New
chapter
Hampshire
based?
Yeah, New Hampshire chapter.
That's cool.
Yeah. No, like the more realistic one was if he said he was like a juggalo or something. Like that's.
But the juggalos are about like peace and love. I thought.
I know, well, even though they are technically considered a gang by the FBI.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I might be a juggalo.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Why? Because I like mint Oreos.
That and also because you like crime. You're
crime
you're
is
pro-crime.
cool, dude. Get with it.
You're pro-crime. You didn't even know that the Juggalos were a criminal gang, so it makes sense.
Because it's, yeah.
Because you're like, what they do, the crimes they do are good.
And prescription drugs in order to help with his supposed anxiety. Stephen's parents grew increasingly worried about their rebellious teen and finally took him to see a psychiatrist in 2006. Stephen's behavior indicates that he was showing signs of having conduct disorder. Sometimes when behavioral problems are sudden and severe, like in Stephen's case, it occurs due to some sort of trauma or major stressor in the young person's life. And because Stephen was heading down such a dangerous path, his parents reportedly spent thousands of dollars in an attempt to help their son. However, he was eventually diagnosed with bipolar disorder and major depression. They would apparently go so far as to enroll him in an addiction treatment center, but were devastated to learn that he required a higher level of treatment than the facility could offer. Stephen was then taken to a residential treatment.
Yeah, of course.
I just think like, I don't know. I think like, I know you get this, and I think also the people who watch get it, but like, I think it's important to say like, I think this is super, I don't know. it's really stigmatizing people who, so that's such a common thing, like bipolar disorder and people who deal with, struggle with these things, and it's treatable. And I think it's important to point that out, because I really, really loathe the framing of like the monster, and then this monster, like even at the beginning it was like he's unlovable. So I don't know. I think that's important, and like if people are struggling with those things, including like people in my own, like in my life that I know, it's no big deal. Like it's cool, and like they're cool and loved, and I want to say that.
A lot of people are not doing murders. Like a lot of people with bipolar or disorder are not.
Okay,
out
whatever,
there.
man. I said my piece. I just wanted to say it.
No, thank you. Well, it's okay. And then this is a good break away from the content to inform everyone that at the top of the hour there's a 3-minute ad break. And sometimes it comes 18 minutes into the top of the hour because I forgot to run it 18 minutes ago. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe, which you could do for $5 or for free. Also, this is a Twitch chat. Everyone here has like a diagnosed, some form of diagnosed mental illness. So it's like,
cool.
It's
vibes.
And as far as I know, no one has done a murder. But if you want to murder the top of the hour ad break, you can get gifted a sub if you're lucky. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. True, my illness is I'm gay. Do you not smell that bully stick?
I guess you have a more sensitive nose than I do.
No, it's just like, it smells like straight dog. And it's not actually the dog that smells, it's the stick. I wouldn't even try and smell it. You want to try it?
No, I don't.
No, it's really bad. Here, no, let's do it. No biting.
No bites. Okay.
Yeah, don't let her bite. Hold on. Here. She's gonna get fucking rowdy now. Here.
You want me to smell it?
Give her a whiff. Wait, hold on.
What are you doing? Don't push it. Don't push it in my face.
No, I won't do. I would not do that to you. Get the fuck out of here. That's insane.
Oh yeah, it stinks.
No,
it's gross. Yeah.
Yeah, it's super
It's got that
gross.
dog smell. Sweet baby. All right.
Center, but left within a month. Yet another failed resource.
It's in here.
He even spent a few short days in psychiatric hospitals in 2008 and supposedly ran away with his girlfriend later that year, but was found in New York and returned home within days. It seemed that there was nothing left to try, but the devoted parents would never give up on their child, although not a single thing could have prevented the heinous acts of the monster that was about to be unleashed.
Back to early Sunday morning. There's no way that he could have been in Mount Vernon with those not that risk.
Come here a little bit and
Really?
open the window.
No. All right. Well, I got some more information when I was downstairs. Yeah. Billy is basically giving it up.
This may be an example of the prisoner's dilemma, in which Stephen now faces the decision of whether to confess or to stick with his story. If Billy says nothing and Stephen says nothing, it's possible that there is not enough evidence to tie them to the crime, and they'll face no punishment. However, if Billy has talked and implicated Stephen, it's possible that Stephen could face a harsher punishment if he doesn't give his side of the story. But if Stephen confesses his role and Billy has admitted his part as well, they will likely both be punished. The prisoner's dilemma is such an effective tactic because Stephen is separated from the others. He doesn't know what they're saying or if they've cracked under the pressure. If he knew for sure the others weren't talking, he would feel more confident in keeping his original story. But the seeds of doubt are likely gnawing at him now, leaving him panicking about what to do.
I'd like to be let out, or I'd like to hear from a lawyer now. So you guys are going to start accusing me of doing something.
Well, I mean, I kind of accused you all along. I'm trying to tell you what I know and what I found out. And if you want an attorney, all you have to say is, I want an attorney. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, this is all voluntary. I don't know why I can't be let out right now. I want to leave. I would like to leave right now.
I'm told that you're not leaving. Why? Because there's enough, they believe there's enough information to place you at the scene of the crime.
I fucked this up.
And that you're someone that's caused this to happen.
Huh?
Okay?
Okay.
Are you asking for an attorney? You're asking to leave, or are you?
I'm asking to leave because I think this is bullshit. I came down here voluntarily.
Yes.
To voluntarily talk to you guys. Now you guys are telling me
Wait,
that
I want Hasan to hear
I can't leave.
Wait, I want you to hear this.
What?
Because it's the attorney part.
Oh, let's go. You want some to drink?
I'm good.
Are you sure?
I got the water.
You questioned it.
No, you got water.
I have a million different forms
Crushing Mountain Dews.
I also have a lot of bevs if you want any. Hold on.
Bevs? Sorry.
Bevs. Aren't you from New York, dude? Isn't that what people from New York say? Bevs?
Yeah, that's what I say.
Okay.
Wait, go back a little. Because he's talking to the lawyer.
Right now, he's like, no, and what I found out. And if you want an attorney, all you have to say is, I want an attorney. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, this is all voluntarily. I don't know why I can't get that out right now. I want to leave. I would like to leave right now.
I'm told that you're not leaving.
Why?
Because there's enough, I believe there's enough information to place you at the scene of the crime, and that you're someone that's caused this to happen.
Huh?
So
Okay.
he is so he is detained in that situation, right? Because we always are like, oh, am I detained? Am I free to leave? Right? So
Yeah, that's actually one lesson from Sovereign Citizens that does make.
yeah,
So, like that
am
is
I being
literal-
detained?
Yeah, am I being detained? Am I being detained? It's true. I mean, but the cop is fucking saying that in a way that without saying it.
Yes.
So
And he's purposely being like obtuse in the way that he's explaining this to them because to this guy because he's trying to get as much information out of him as possible. And like you would, fight the admission of like anything that he's saying on this tape, obviously, because of how coercive it is. But you notice how he says to him, well, do you want an attorney? Like, are you telling me that you want an attorney? And then he doesn't, like, at that point, really, the cop should stop talking to him, but he's going to keep going because he didn't say, I want an attorney. He said, I'm doing this all voluntarily. And then he says, well, but we can put you at the scene of the crime. Like, he's kind of like talking in circles around him. You know what I mean? Like, it's clear that they want him for this thing, but yeah, it sucks.
why is everybody freaking out about Instagram? Like, who cares if it's broken, dude? I don't understand. Yeah, it's not. Oh wait, it was almost.
Isn't Instagram just down sometimes?
Yeah, I like people are coming. It's one of the strangest things that people do in the chat is like when they have like a personal inconvenience or whatever, they just go crazy and they'll be
It's down. That's cool.
like, who cares?
Are you asking for an attorney? You're asking to leave, or are you?
I'm asking to leave because I think this is bullshit. I came down here voluntarily.
Yes.
To voluntarily talk to you guys. Now you guys are telling me that I can't leave, and I didn't do anything. I want to be let out.
Yeah, so
And I want to smoke a cigarette.
Okay.
Frustrated, the detectives must end the interrogation. It's possible that Stephen refuses to believe his friend has betrayed him, but, as we will later hear from Billy, he was ready to come clean. In the meantime, there are still a few
Pussy.
things that Christopher's interrogators would like to cover.
And right now, I'm going to tell you that there are some other stories that are being told. You better think long and hard right now about what happened this weekend.
Okay.
Okay? Let's go back to Saturday night.
Alright.
What happened after you left your girlfriend's the party that you went to?
I was pretty sure I went back home,
I don't believe this guy has a
Okay.
girlfriend.
but I may have gone out with Steve.
The confrontation phase of the interrogation is now underway, but Christopher maintains his original story, although the detectives aren't buying it.
What do you know about what happened up there in Mount Vernon?
All I know is like this morning, like really early this morning, we were looking on the internet on the Telegraph to see what was going on, and there was something about there was a lady killed in Mount Vernon, and there's like a young girl that's in stable condition in the hospital. I don't know if it was me or one of Steve's friends or something. Somebody texted one of us or emailed us. I just remember that we heard that the girl was conceivably in the same class as one of our friend's sisters or something. And so I guess she's about 10 years old, which
Hey, it's Mike. Glad to meet you in Tampa. Lowell overruled. It's important that people understand that courts have found that an ambiguity in the request for an attorney allows detectives to continue interrogation. For example, courts found that someone asking, "I want my lawyer dog," meant that they were requesting a dog lawyer and not a human lawyer. Wait, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So
It's
what?
got to be clear, and also don't talk to the cops generally.
This is not legal advice.
Honestly, I hope she's going to be okay. Because that's horrible to do something to a little girl. But
It's common in the Reed technique for investigators to ask what the suspect...
This is my favorite stuff, the fucking techniques that they teach in, like, criminology classes, I guess. Like...
Reed technique?
It's literally all just, okay.
Beck thinks the purpose of the interview is... Individuals who are being honest are more likely to use realistic words to describe the crime, while deceptive individuals may...
You have no answer for this, bro. It's real science.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Answer vaguely or use soft words like hurt or attack instead of murder. Christopher's use of the word killed here is in line with what a truthful subject might say. However, his reference to the girl in the hospital is vague. This may be an example of how most people who are being deceptive won't answer every question in a deceptive way. People will generally provide a mix of deceptive and truthful behaviors, but there will be more.
It does operate very close to astrology. Yeah. Like, you know how it's always like vague and it gives you, you know, sometimes contradictory statements? Like, that's what this guy just did, where he's like, yeah, he gave up. He said killed, which is direct. But then he said the girl in the hospital, which is vague. Therefore, it's a mixture, guilty.
More deceptive indicators when someone is lying, and more truthful indicators when someone's being honest. This is why it's important for detectives to interpret body language and verbal responses in conjunction with the actual physical evidence.
I mean, I know it sounds cold, but it wasn't a huge deal to me.
It's pretty funny. Like, look, I watch a lot of this stuff, but I as I always state, it's none of this shit that is actually like, either you're very stupid and you admit it, like you openly fucking admit it, or it's DNA and other like actual, you know, I wouldn't even go so far as to say like eyewitness evidence is like all that great. And
I think eyewitnesses are probably the worst.
Yeah.
I mean, just, you know, in terms of like when they're basing things on that testimony because of how quickly people forget things. And I'm sure you know about, you know, like police are kind of like inside of their training, told to say like, oh, he, you know, he's got a gun or like something like that, or like in the context of someone pulling something out of their jacket so that people like hear that. You know?
Yeah. And people are motivated to believe that that person has a gun.
Yeah.
Even if that person clearly did not have a gun. But then they can use the eyewitness testimony to be like, well, everyone was in fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, stop resisting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Low microphone, sorry.
Although Christopher has not been formally diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder, it's always interesting when people such as psychopaths use language like this, because it shows their awareness of what empathy or lack of is.
This is
but
you,
also
actually.
Their ability to be manipulative.
Like knowing how to use the language to seem like you're not a psychopath.
Yeah, no, that's what psychopaths do, which is why I do it all the time.
Assuming that somebody specifically tried to kill them, like, that rubs against my conscience personally. I'm one of those type of gentlemen.
Homeschooler, fluoride stare. Okay, M. Hud can say it. He was homeschooled.
Okay.
He can say
That's fine.
Chivalry sort of guys that you don't even hit girls, let alone go out and treat them badly.
Most likely to commit murder.
Christopher's statement here may be what is known as a convincing statement. Individuals who are telling the truth don't usually feel the need to prop up their story with convincing statements about what a great person they are, because they know the facts are on their side. On the other hand, individuals who are being deceptive may use these sorts of statements to bolster their image and persuade detectives to believe them.
If the girl's in the hospital, obviously she probably got injured or something.
Ultimately, there's no winning because, like, if you're super convincing, then they'll say, oh, you're so convinced. Like, you're too convincing. if you're flubbing and you're like, I don't know, jumping around in your statements, then they're like, oh, you're insecure and therefore guilty. All of it is guilty. But everything leads back to guilty because, I mean, that's kind of the point. If you're in the interrogation room, you're guilty.
It's just...
You might not actually be, but it doesn't matter.
I mean, this is also like, I mean, it's kind of silly, right? It's all like ex post facto, like he's being like, and then he said that, which obviously showed his guilt. And
well, the narrator is saying that because he knows that they're guilty. But I'm saying cops also do that.
Yeah, but I don't, I mean, sure. But I also don't think that I just don't think they care that much a lot of the time. I think they care about making a strong case against somebody. It's not always necessarily the right person.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying every time something happens, it's like this is the wrong guy, right? But I don't know.
But don't you think that like the techniques are just basically to get them to slowly but surely unwind and inevitably reveal certain aspects of their own testimony that is contradicting? Like that's like kind of the point.
Sure.
All this other shit is just bullshit conjecture. It doesn't matter. It's not real. It's just about in a long enough timeline, you're probably going to admit to certain things, and those certain things are going to be used against you in a court of law. That's basically it.
And they just want you to talk for as long as possible, which again is why you don't want to talk to them.
Under the worst circumstances possible too. Unless you're already, I guess, leaking information, then they give you hamburgers and stuff, right? Isn't that how that works?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, Chris, it's funny you should mention that because I want to let you know she is going to survive, fortunately.
That's good.
Yeah, that is real good because it's real good because she deserves to be alive, and so does
so does the lady, I'm sure.
You know, but you know what else is good? It's good because she can ID the two people that
That'd be
were
good.
in the house.
That'd be awesome. I hope you guys can do that.
Yeah.
Christopher's voice is slightly shakier, and he overall sounds less sure of himself here as the detectives attempt to break his confidence. And although Christopher states his relief that Jamie is expected to survive, he's likely panicking at the thought that she may be able to identify him.
Let's say it was a robbery gone wrong. Mom ends up dead. The little girl ends up seriously injured.
I only thought cops talk like this in movies, by the way he's talking right now.
What do you mean?
Like, let's say it was a robbery gone wrong. Mom ends up dead. Like retelling the story.
They learn from the movies.
Yeah.
They want to be a movie cop. Yeah, for sure.
Makes sense.
People involved in it.
They're pretty nasty people.
What do you think should happen to those people?
Well, they should probably get sent to jail for the rest of their lives.
He said probably.
Which means he's not sure.
Yeah, which means he's guilty. Only a guilty person would say probably go to jail instead of they should definitely go to jail, except double if he had said definitely go to jail, he would be overcompensating for being guilty.
Prison. I honestly don't know what's the difference between jail and prison.
Although Christopher's response sounds okay at first glance, it's a red flag that he qualified his answer with the word probably. Most truthful individual.
Dude, it's like
you found your new gig.
No, I know. I watched too many of these videos. Are you kidding me? I know what they're gonna say.
This would provide a firm response in a situation like this. If the officers had doubt about his involvement before.
No, that's a lie. If he had said firmly, then he would have said overcompensating for being the murderer.
Then they definitely don't any longer.
The thing that seems to have led you to me is the car.
And why do you think that is?
I don't know.
After that, we're going to do banana peels, by the way, where this public defender is going to defend some of the worst in this community, the worst offenders.
I'm going to defend them all.
Yeah, pro bono.
And we're going to free
Maybe
them.
a car like that was just seen in the area, and so you're checking out that lead. It's quite possible I was in the area. I could have been driving down that road right when it happened, which kind of scares me. Because what if they'd come out of the house and needed a getaway car and killed me for my car? That kind of makes me nervous. I probably won't drive around there too much anymore.
This statement indicates that not only does he know the exact area the police are referring to, but he won't go there again.
Only a murderer would not go back to the scene of the crime, except double. Going back to the scene of the crime is an indication that you are the murderer.
This may have been a slip-up on his part, as Christopher was likely trying to convince the detectives that not only was he not involved in the crime, but he could have even potentially been the killer's next victim. However, in doing so, he seemingly confirmed that he had been in that area. In addition, asking the suspect to elaborate on their knowledge of the evidence is a common way to get...
That, by the way, is what I meant. That's the true purpose of the interrogation, to get him talking for an extended period of time so that he literally places himself in the scene of the crime with a vehicle.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
Nothing good can come from talking about the cops. And I'm talking with the cops. And, also, like...
I mean, they did... I think they might have done it, though. I think...
They might have
I'm sure, ultimately, in situations like this, like I said, it's always like DNA or fucking a camera or something that places you in that...
Yeah.
I'm
going to take... everything you say today, I'm going to be like, no, sorry.
Yeah, it's very... You. Yeah, you're such a fucking lawyer, dog.
I will say DNA evidence is notoriously unreliable.
What would you say is the most reliable?
Me
saying your client is
that my
innocent?
client is innocent. Yes.
Okay.
That
good.
you could take that to the bank.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
And that's my reputation.
Law overruled.
And that's also what people know when they see me. They're like, I know that guy. We can trust him.
Yeah. His clients are innocent. Okay, but like, all jokes aside, would you say that video evidence and especially when paired up with like DNA, wouldn't you say that that's like...
I think it's like it all goes to the strength of the case, right? And like I've also seen cases where you would think that the video evidence would be like dispositive of exactly what happened. It isn't always. Like if something goes down at like a fast food restaurant and maybe the footage is not so... Like it all goes to strength of the case. Like that's all it is. I mean, like sometimes you have tough cases, and when you have a tough case, it's more likely that that person is going to probably accept a plea, because if you the downside or the potential exposure they have going to trial and losing is, massive. So
okay,
yeah,
I gotta take this call real quick. Okay. Sorry.
No worries.
We'll keep going.
Get them talking, and a possible opening for them to make mistakes.
Let's say you were on that road that night.
Assuming I was, that scares me shitless.
It should.
Because not only does it make me a suspect, obviously, since you're questioning me, but that really scares me, that somebody who is willing to attack, even if they were just trying to get out of the house, a woman and a little girl, of course they're going to attack me for my car. Like, I've never had my car jacked, but I've been scared of it sometimes.
Apparently, while driving around on Saturday night, Christopher and Stephen traveled all the way to Mount Vernon. Christopher states that they eventually parked in a driveway down one of the back roads for a bathroom break, but he doesn't clearly remember where they were. Unsurprisingly, the detectives find this to be more than suspicious, but rather than confront Christopher just yet, they switch gears to a new topic: the gang. Stephen had recently formed the Disciples of Destruction, looking to achieve a sense of brotherhood along with financial prosperity. He recruited none other than Christopher, Billy, and Quinn, where the essential values of the group consisted of loyalty and violence, with the only way in being the commission of crime. The recruit would invade a house and dispose of anyone who may be inside. Seeing as Christopher was having trouble at home, he wanted more than anything to be part of something where he could freely express himself. Christopher had been accusing his mother of emotional and physical abuse for quite some time, claiming that she would allegedly pin him to the floor and pop acne on his back, spank him, and require him to carry a vacuum around the house. The accusations were never confirmed, but his mother did recall a time where she had spanked the child so hard with a wooden spoon that the utensil broke. She would later admit that she regretted losing her control, but has since denied any of the other allegations, and there is no evidence of them being true. Nonetheless, during his early teenage years, Christopher began to have dark and twisted fantasies about his mother and wished that one day he would carry them out. Confessing his evil thoughts to a counselor at cadet camp, he supposedly stated his thoughts of wanting to cut his mother into pieces and listen to her scream like I screamed. The counselor, horrified at what they'd heard, immediately notified Christopher's parents. They were absolutely shocked at the confession and didn't wait long to bring Christopher in for a psychological evaluation. The psychiatrist concluded that he'd been displaying traits of antisocial personality disorder, but was too young to be formally diagnosed. Despite the blood-curdling fantasies, the teenager was not considered a threat to society, or at least that's what was decided at the time. If these dark and twisted fantasies were expressed as just Christopher's angry thoughts towards his allegedly abusive mother, it would be difficult to have him committed to a psychiatric facility. In addition, inpatient psychiatric hospitalizations are typically limited to days or weeks at most. It's rare for patients to be committed for months at a time unless they have a very severe mental illness. So, although Christopher displayed all the signs of likely being a hazard to society, it's difficult for his parents, his counselor, or his psychiatrist to do anything to stop him from someday acting on those thoughts. Sadly, in many cases, it's only when the person acts that measures are taken to prevent them from harming others again.
I mean, you know, my whole thing with this is, like, obviously it's entirely speculative on behalf of this narrator. I don't mean that, you know, Christopher, if he went and did this thing, you know, obviously it's horrible, but, like, the idea that there's no possible alternative that could have helped him before this situation developed, that, like, he needed to go to some kind of facility where he would be kept away forever, when the professionals who evaluated him determined that, like, he wasn't actually at that time, you know, in extreme danger to himself or other people. And it was later that something ended up happening. Also, you missed something kind of crazy.
What?
Which was his mom was, like, Dr. Pimple poppering him, like, was, like, holding him down and popping his pimples.
Okay.
You missed it.
Wait, what does that have to do with anything? Like,
it was like abuse that he.
Wait, that's the abusive behavior?
I mean, there were other abuses, but that was kind of the one that stood out to me because it was, you know, kind of gross.
Oh, okay. I thought that was, like, legitimately the argument that they were making.
No.
Like, the mom was doing Dr. Pimple Popper shit, which made him
but it was
a serial killer.
I mean, it kind of was what he was saying, but yeah.
No, there was other forms of abuse?
There were other forms of abuse, yes.
Okay. Seems like that is relevant in this circumstance.
And they were they were in a, you know, a criminal enterprise, the four of them, to commit crime.
Wait, the Crips?
I guess, well, I don't know if it was the Crips,
no,
but the four of them.
Just joking.
Frustrated, it seems to be of excellent timing when he and Steven had reconnected in 2009.
You should have originally said you're not an abolitionist because these videos would cease to exist and you love them. Okay, I don't love these videos. I do love some of them, though. That's true. Some of them are pretty great, especially ones where, like, cops are really fucking bad. Like, we have a lot of memes about the JCS ones. JCS ones are pretty solid.
What would you do if Steve put you in a position, a pretty hairy predicament? Would you stop him?
I kind of want to make you watch the Legend of Jeff video.
What is that?
It's like a legendary interrogation video. It's probably the most famous one. Not even the Can You Do This Steven one, but that one is, like, the best one. Let me see. Where is it? Steven is a class. Are you trying to leave?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure that you're not, like,
just have a lot of text.
being held.
I'm being detained.
You're being detained. This is the Legend of Jeff. We'll keep going with this.
I want to follow him.
I would stop him.
And deal with the consequences later.
I would definitely stop him, because I don't put up with stuff from anyone to a certain degree. If he's gonna smoke cigarettes and he's almost 18, I don't care.
We're not talking smoking cigarettes.
Oh yeah.
We're not talking drinking beer if you're underage.
No, I'm just using.
I'm talking serious stuff.
I don't think you really get the big picture. You are here for a reason, okay?
Now they're starting to get
You
started.
want to know what the other guys are talking about? They're not talking about cigarettes.
I love the
so you better
Boston, like,
Yeah,
the
they can lie. They can legally lie to you, right? In interrogation.
I mean, they lie. They lie.
But it's, like, allowed by the courts.
Yeah, I mean, they can be dishonest with you, and they frequently are dishonest with people. But again, this just all goes to the fact that you shouldn't be talking to them.
Not a law tip. Well, not legal advice.
Not legal advice ever from me.
Only I'm giving legal advice. When I say anything, remember it's definitely legal advice.
That's right. It's the legal practice of law.
It's financial advice and it's legal advice simultaneously. It's both. It could be anything, but it's always the case. It's a matter of law.
Start
medical advice too. Yes, that is
thinking really hard and pull your head out of your behind and start telling us what happened on Saturday night, because it's not looking very good.
I'm sorry. The New England accent is so unserious.
It's really bad.
Like when if someone was telling me anything seriously in that accent, I'd start laughing. Like there's no way I could take that seriously. It's like even an Italian accent has like a level of seriousness to it that this one doesn't. You know what I mean?
It's
like,
also really
get your
strange.
fucking head out of your ass, dude. Like, no, I can't.
I used to prank call QVC, like the Home Shopping Network.
You're going to jail for that.
Maybe.
It's criminal.
When I was in college and I would use a Boston accent, I'd pretend to be like a dad who just got home from work and his kids had called QVC and ordered a bunch of like things they weren't supposed to order.
That's you wasted the time of the QVC people. That's illegal.
I think it's great. I was preventing the overconsumption by other people by twisting up the lines.
Oh, look at you, disbarred. How about that?
Good for you. People are talking
Isn't
about
that a felony?
something
No.
different than what you are
I don't
telling
think
us.
so.
This was Saturday night. This wasn't 3 months ago Saturday night. This was Saturday night. It is Monday right now. There should be no question in your mind what you did. You just told us you don't use drugs. You don't drink.
No.
You have no reason to have this memory loss.
I just don't put anything into long-term memory unless it's in.
Let's take a deep breath and think long and hard.
That's good. That's a good
what
response.
Happened Saturday night.
This is the prisoner's dilemma at play again, this time with Christopher being on the receiving end of it. He likely believes that his selective memory is a safe bet right now, as it leaves the door open for him to suddenly remember something later and adjust his story. However, what he doesn't seem to realize is that having a memory of extremes like this is highly suspicious. With this in mind, the detectives are hoping to back Christopher into a corner.
I knew it.
But the teenager
Dude, everything is highly
refuses to budge,
suspicious, dude.
although this won't last for long.
Well, I can't tell you anything but what I think I did.
What you think you did? Don't tell me what you think you did. Tell me what you did, okay? Be a man and tell me what you did.
We got in the car and left.
This is the be a man technique. It's very effective. The police is harping on the patriarchal, the toxic masculinity of Chris Gribble to drive to get some kind of confession out of them. Chris Gribble will say, "Oh, that's what being a man is like? Well, I am a man, so I will tell you now."
I mean, we don't do anything on Saturday nights. We just drive around.
The issue comes down to what was your role in what happened Saturday night?
Do you really think we did that?
I think you know who did something.
It's very suspicious that he answered with a question. An innocent person.
Guilty person asking questions.
Yeah.
I think you know what went on there. I think you have knowledge about what went on there that can help us with our investigation.
Christopher's question stands out as a possible indication of deception. Someone who's being truthful is
You
more
like
likely
that?
to adamantly...
You like that? I'm nailing it every time.
It's just every word that comes out of his mouth. He's like, this is a sign of his guilt.
Dog, this is like probably maximum 25 minutes of interrogation. They have to they ran it out for an hour and 30.
Deny any involvement in a firm tone of voice. But Christopher's is weak, and his question is clearly lacking any actual denial. The detective is also using an alternative explanation that minimizes the suspect's role in the crime by asserting that Christopher has knowledge of it, but without accusing him of taking part in the act itself.
You guys really think that we did it, don't you?
Tell anyone you did it?
No.
No.
I got him.
That's like the I shot the clerk thing in like My Cousin Vinny.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
What?
I've never watched it. My
It's
brother
so
was watching
good.
it the other day. It looked all Jesus Christ, I hate this. It looked kind of boring.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That didn't have enough like CGI raccoons in it.
What? I don't watch any Marvel movies, so you're not gonna get me on this, Mr. I love Thor, Thunder Thighs, or whatever the
I
fuck.
don't like that.
That's your favorite movie.
That's a lie.
Clearly, everyone in here knows that that's your favorite.
No, it's not.
Tell anyone you did it.
Why would you
So if
tell
I told
someone
you someone is telling us right now that you told them that you cut that little girl's throat, that would be a lie.
Yes.
That would be a lie.
I would never hurt a girl, let alone some little girl.
That's
That
suspicious.
would be horrible.
Stop.
Because he said he wouldn't hurt a girl, but not a grown woman. What do you think?
You think that's what he's gonna
I
say?
think that's what he's gonna say.
Okay, I like this. I don't think that's what he's gonna say.
Fuck.
I think he's gonna say. I think what he's gonna say is an innocent person would say would not even revel in the details of the gruesome murder. An innocent person would instead immediately, categorically deny it without getting into the accusations.
All right, let's go.
The individualization of this crime indicates Chris Gribble as the murderer.
Stop telling us, Chris, about why you guys went into that house. Because right now, it isn't a question if, it's a question why. Stop talking, Chris.
We were just driving
I guess they didn't
around.
cover that at all. We both fucked up.
Me and Steve.
You and Steve. And what happened next?
We drove around. We stopped maybe and took a break to pee, and then we got back in the car and drove around more.
See, here's the thing, Chris. You feel like you're giving us just enough to explain away what you think we might know, or things that we might have. And you're thinking that that's going to be enough where later on you can say, well, I told you that. Well, I said that. Well, I can explain that. You do not know all that we know.
No,
Rest
I'm telling you what
assured.
I know.
That's so bad. I'm sorry, but like that. You don't know how much we know. Like, is that a good way to try to fucking get more information on him? At least lie. You can lie to him.
I mean, it's just like vague enough.
He should just say like, "No, your fucking homies have told us everything." Isn't that what cops?
Yeah,
that's what cops do, right?
Sometimes they do say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rest assured, you do not know all that we know.
During the interrogation, one of the detectives has been stepping out of the room to retrieve information from the other interviews that are taking place with Billy, Quinn, Stephen, and Autumn. And little does Christopher know, his friends weren't as willing to conceal the truth.
It's okay to tell the truth. It is okay to say what happened, to tell the truth. Because society is going to draw its own version of this whole thing. They already have. You read the paper. You read the Telegraph.
It's just a paragraph on mine.
Okay, if that's all you read, fine. But I bet in that one paragraph, you can sum up what the reporter's attitude about the whole thing is. There's some animal out there hacking people up, killing people in their own home in the middle of the night. That's an animal. That's a killer.
Well, yeah.
That's someone that needs to be killed themselves.
Oh, shit.
A guy like you, come on. You're not cruising yard sales on a weekend. Come
Sure
on.
I do.
No, you're not. That jewelry is going to be traced back to that house. And we're going to check the records of anything else you've pawned off. Because you even said they take your name, your license number, all that information. How much of that other jewelry and those other goods that you pawned off are going to come back to other burglaries? That were just that. Simple burglaries. You sneak in.
The most I've done is I was like 9 years old. I tried to take a thing of Pokemon stickers from a KD Toys.
Stop minimizing. Stop. We're not talking smoking when you're under 18. We're not talking stealing
We've all
Pokemon
done it.
stickers.
Look,
We're
we've all
talking
done it.
murder.
I don't do that.
You may not have, but someone in that house did. And you were there.
I was never in
You
any house.
were there.
Investigators again pose the alternate theory that gives the appearance of minimizing the severity of the crime.
Oh my God.
This is meant in part to keep the suspect talking and eventually willing to admit to something, and eventually the truth of their role in the crime. Nonetheless, Christopher refuses to waver on his original story invoking that as an Eagle Scout, murder is not a core value.
Chris, let me ask you this. You ever been to the Nashua River? That mean anything to you?
I don't know which river the Nashua River is.
You don't know?
Hell yeah, Eagle Scouts.
Been to river lately?
Does
that mean anything to you? No.
I don't know.
No? You haven't been by a river lately?
Unless you keep driving over one or walking.
Stop minimizing. Stop dancing around the issue. John has asked you a very specific question. Have you been to a river lately? Yes or no?
Fine, yes, I've been to the river.
See how easy that
parked
was?
next to the hatch.
When was this?
I don't know.
2 nights ago?
He stole
Maybe
Pokemon
yesterday
cards.
Well, we went and got
Where did you go to the river for, Chris? What did you go by the river for?
I parked.
What'd you throw in the river, Chris?
Whoa.
What did you throw in the river? What was thrown in the river, Chris?
He does sound like Jerry Seinfeld, but
What
from Boston.
was thrown in the river? I didn't ask.
This is called the pestering technique, where a cop keeps repeating the same question over and over and over again.
And pointing his gun at his head.
Okay, that would be very effective.
Yeah.
If you did, what was thrown in the river?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I didn't throw anything in the
You're
river.
lying, Chris.
I don't know.
You're lying. We have evidence.
This is called the you're lying technique. Also very effective.
You're lying.
You're
You
lying.
know what happens to people who slice little girls in prison? You know what happens to them?
Oh,
Do you
this
know?
is another.
No, I've never been to prison.
Yeah? Well, you know what? You're going to find out.
Then arrest me.
My God, what were you
Damn.
thinking?
He ate him up.
What were you
right
thinking
there.
when you were hatching away at her?
Okay, you're a little too much
Hacking
on the
away
side
at
of this
her.
guy.
What?
Here in the
Somebody's
screen.
got to be.
We were smiling. You were smiling, weren't
Dude,
you?
you are such a fucking
are a
attorney.
sick-
Thank you.
You are
are
such a
that went in there
fucking.
with the sole purpose carrying that shit. Because the other guys might have thought it was just a burglary. They're just going to skim a little jewelry, go make a little cash, be done with it. But you went in there with another plan. You went in there to kill. You liked it. That rush. that
Okay, this
adrenaline
literally. Okay, this guy watched too much fucking police.
This is what I'm telling you.
No, the cop here is literally fucking this up. Like
I mean, maybe
he
he's not.
thinks he's in a fucking movie. Like he is straight up behaving like he is the lead in a cop drama.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you were smiling from ear to fucking ear, dude.
It's the hyper real, you know? Like these things, the copy of the copy of the copy, and
Yeah, but it's not. But this is ridiculous.
You liked it. Till the lights came on. Reality hit. You saw the damage you had done.
The detectives have shifted from placing the blame on Stephen to making Christopher the actual ringleader. They've tried playing him as the victim who simply followed along, but since that tactic didn't work, their next option is to evoke anger or guilt in hopes that he will tell the truth. It's possible that the
Pokemon
investigators believe that he's the psychopathic mastermind, and that calling him out on it would appeal to his nature. Trying to paint him as a follower if he is the leader would, after all, be an insult to him.
If you were given that opportunity, would you offer an apology to that little girl
oh man.
for what happened to her and her mother? Would you?
If I had done it, yes.
Most people would tell a person that was
That's insane, dude. That's like an insane. Okay, when did you stop beating your wife? Is like what they're doing here.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
like, when did you stop beating your fucking wife, dude?
severely injured, they were sorry it happened,
effective.
regardless of their involvement. It's part of an empathetic response. Christopher's answer lends significant credibility to the idea that he is on the psychopathic end.
See? So even when he gives the right answer, it's because he's a psychopath. So he's able to fake it.
End of antisocial personality disorder. Since
To be fair, he might be, because, the crime itself is pretty wild.
lack of empathy is a key component of psychopathy. This statement labels him something of a deviant, whether he was guilty of this particular crime or not.
What?
Following the heated confrontation, Christopher decides
What?
that he doesn't want to speak with the detectives any longer. But over an hour later, he seems to have changed his mind. Not only this, but now we're able to hear from the much talked about Billy, who has been confessing all along. The detectives begin by reading Billy his rights and quickly dives into his side of the story.
This is your chance to talk, Billy, so I'd like you to just tell us what you know about the incident. I don't know much. I only know what I've heard from my teachers today in school. Okay, Billy. The information we have is that you were there.
The detective informs Billy that he's not the only suspect being interviewed at this very moment.
So why don't you go ahead and tell us what you know about the incident out in Mount Vernon? What I know, like, about which part, about your involvement in the incident. Yes. My involvement was, I was just there. Okay. Who were you there with? Steve Stairs and Chris, I have no idea what his last name is. You don't know Chris's last name? I've never known him for a week. Okay. Okay. And
well, y'all got the same haircut? What the fuck is... Can someone address the haircut question? That's all I care about.
They're just
about
homies.
No, that makes no sense. Like, they
you and
all...
I kind of have a similar haircut, a little bit, maybe.
Okay, but like... Okay, you bring up a fair point. Like, if we were wrapped up
Let's
in a
go!
murder... If we were wrapped up in a murder mystery... But
Get
like...
him!
Well, it's not going to happen until tomorrow. You're going to have a different haircut. It just, like, doesn't make fucking any sense whatsoever that they all have, like... They went and got the same fucking, like, very specific buzz cut.
who else were you there with? Quinn Glover. Okay.
Billy is minimizing his involvement.
Oh yeah, they were talking about. Sorry, you missed that. The
just.
Disciples of Violence was apparently their gang, allegedly, that they were in.
Damn, they got the nerdiest fucking gang name, dude. They're just like, dude, see, this is what happens. You should have just, like, gotten really invested in, I don't know, D&D or something instead of whatever this is.
This is likely an attempt to lessen his punishment and possibly any feelings of guilt. Given how quickly he admitted to being there, it's possible that he either felt compelled to clear his guilty conscience, or he's a person who succumbs easily to pressure.
I mean, hold on, wait.
In addition, when more...
You know, like, don't you have a group of, like, your boys that, and you have a name for your group of guys?
No, because we're not murderers, unlike you.
Well, like, I have a name for my friend group of guys.
What do you call...
We're called the BHB.
What's that?
The Broken Home Boys. Because we're from broken homes.
Really? Are you fucking with me right now? I can't tell.
I don't know.
Oh, my God.
You'll never know.
We call ourselves the HasanAbi heads.
The Disgusting Brothers.
Oh, God. Dude, tonight, a new episode of Succession.
I know, very exciting.
Yeah, let's see what happens. But in the meanwhile, at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break that happens. Of course, you wouldn't know that if you are subscribed. We had a crew like that called the Laser Boys. We were toxic. Oh, yeah. If you're called the Laser Boys with, like, capital letters in there, you know that shit is going to be toxic. Meanwhile, the toxicity at the top of the hour ad break could be completely negated if you subscribe for $5 or for free or get gifted a sub. Here's a 3-minute ad break now. For the record, a brief, just a random thing. The reason why I was away was because I was talking to the vet. The vet first said, oh, yeah, you know, negative for Giardia and every other parasites, right? For Kaya. Negative for everything is what she said at first. And I was like, that's not possible. I saw the poop and it had, like, full-grown fucking worms in it. And she was like, oh, okay, hold on. And then she put me on hold for 15 minutes. I gave the phone to my mom. And then she, you know, once she finally got off hold, my mom gave me the phone back, talked to her, and she said, oh, maybe it's because the worms are, like, fully developed, like, adult worms. That's why it couldn't pick up. It wouldn't be picked up in the toxicology report, so we need to do an injection. And also simultaneously give you more, you need a new vet? That sounds weird. Well, I don't know. But I probably do need a new vet. I don't know. But adult worms in a baby dog? Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, the worms are fully developed maybe? I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. She's going to get an injection and also medicine on top of that to hit, like, every fucking, to hit all the different kinds of worms. And that's it.
Poor sweet baby.
Yeah, she's fine. Like, look at her sleeping.
She's asleep.
She's been sleeping all day because of the vaccine, I think.
She got the
COVID
vaccine?
Yeah, she's gay and autistic now. That's what I did to her with the vaccine. This BS, you need a different vet. Even if the worms were fully developed, that means there'd be eggs they could pick up. Horrible vet, 1 star on Yelp. Okay, I don't know how this works.
It's time to dox your vet.
What? Yeah, we're not. Dude, this ain't TikTok, brother.
I'm kidding.
We don't do that. I know you're used to that probably in your line of work.
Doxing?
TikTok. That's like what TikTokers do.
They dox
dox
so
so
I
much.
guess you mean like, yeah, sure.
TikTokers dox so much. Oh my God, it's crazy.
More than one person is involved in a crime, a psychological phenomenon known as diffusion of responsibility occurs. This means that each person feels less responsible for the crime because the responsibility...
Oh yeah, they definitely just fucked up. That's why you were on hold forever. They were just shredding papers, torching the place. Yeah, they were closing shop and opening up a new vet down the road, actually. That's what was going on.
...is shared. If Billy is being honest and saying that he was there but didn't actively participate in the attack, he may have justified the crime to himself because others were doing something much worse.
I get a call or a text from Stevie saying that he's in the trailer park I live in. Yeah, and he wanted to meet up with me. He wouldn't tell me why or what or anything. So I'm like, whatever.
Okay. Chat, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bent are you gonna get if I skip this and go to the Legend of Jeff video instead, which is much shorter, and then we can move on to ban appeals?
They're fine with it.
Okay, everyone wants to skip it. Okay, good. Holy shit. All right, let's do it. It's too long.
It's a slow.
Yeah.
God damn.
Okay, yeah. All right, let's watch this one. This is a classic. Skip.
Am I under arrest?
Is this Jeff?
For now.
This is Jeff.
I'm under arrest?
Yeah, I'll explain everything, but before I explain myself to you, before we talk to each other, I need to read your rights, okay?
What am I under arrest for?
Well, like I said, I need to read your rights first. Obviously, the charge is robbery, okay? Yeah, I'll explain everything.
I'm under arrest for robbery?
You are, but let me read your rights real quick, okay? And then I'll explain it all to you. Is that okay? You let me do that real fast? All right, Jeff. Can you read what?
Right off the bat, this guy's trying to read him his rights instead of fucking, immediately diving into it. And bad cop. He should be, he should be fucking,
I mean, yeah, we're gonna.
He should be.
Frag
Okay,
him.
Kai is about to bark. I'm letting don't get scared.
With me, just reading your head, okay? Before we ask you any questions, you must understand what your rights are. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. Does that make sense? You've probably heard these before, haven't you? Does that make sense?
You might need to go outside.
Do you understand your rights?
Never mind. She laid down.
Do you understand your rights, Jeff? Yes or no? Do you understand? Do you understand what I read you? Did you comprehend what I read you?
Killing it, Jeff.
Jeff, I'm just here to talk to you and figure out what happened and move you on out of here at least some of it. So do you understand the rights I read to you?
Give him nothing,
If you
Jeff.
got something that says you didn't do this robbery, this is your chance to talk to us.
Okay, good cop.
Usually I'm the prick.
You look like the prick.
Oh!
This is Jeff.
This is where the
Jeff is a heroin addict and has been for the last 14 years. He is 6'5", weighs 153 pounds, and has now found himself in the unfortunate circumstance of being charged with armed robbery. This is in the state of Georgia, so if found guilty, they will render him the minimum term of 10 years without parole, up to the maximum term of life in prison. Jeff has been through the system.
Okay, just before we get into the video, it's insane that that's the, oh my God, dude.
Yeah, that's a lot of fucking time.
Yup. Yeah, they should just melt him into biomatter. Save the state some money, and then you can use him as fuel. You can use his human remains as fuel instead. That's what we're gonna be moving towards in America, I think, eventually.
Multiple times over, and he will know that if indeed found guilty, his sentence will be considerably longer than the minimum 10 years due to his previous convictions.
Predicate.
Jeff, do you understand your rights? Yes or no? I'm not asking if you want to talk to me at this point. I just want to know, do you understand what I read to you?
So am I under arrest?
Yes, you're under arrest.
Getting back to the cell. I don't talk to you.
All right.
Okay. There you go. Want a Coke?
He's back.
Yup, he extracted a Coca-Cola out of him.
Jeff has become somewhat of a cult figure in the domain of interrogation footage. His recognition seems to have grown through his own popularity, as opposed to the notoriety of his crimes, like most others. Conveying the exact reasoning behind this can be tricky, as the interest in this character will no doubt vary by the individual. Yet we've found the most collective reason can be explained through a single pop culture reference: the anti-hero. While the concept is timeless,
Joker.
the actual term was created through the realm of modern cinema. There's a diverse number of characters passing through the decades that fit the criteria. Yet perhaps the most textbook example could be the protagonist from the 2003 feature Bad Santa, a middle-aged man simply known as Willie. This is a character that lies, cheats, steals, swears at children, drinks an inconceivable amount of alcohol, and is generally extremely unpleasant to every single person he comes across.
Excellent form right there.
Who's here, Jimmy?
This is so weird.
Santa.
I'm fucking right.
Let's tell him what you want for Christmas.
I'm on my fucking lunch break, okay?
On paper, this is an extremely unlikable individual, yet for some reason, we root for him while following his story. Anti-heroes are flawed, as are we. Their moral complexity mirrors our own, and just like us, they are learning and growing as they move along the path of life. Their mistakes make us think of our mistakes, and perhaps the reason we root for their redemption is the reflection of ourselves rooting for our own. So you might be curious about the contrast between the anti-hero and the villain. One we embrace and relate to, while the other we despise and detach from. Both are driven by selfish motivations, yet our emotional response differs between them. The reason for this, while not necessarily obvious, is a relatively simple formula. The anti-hero must have a glimmer of humanity alongside a noticeable vulnerability. This is what allows the viewer to truly connect with the character. It allows us to forgive them when they are unethical, but admire them when they are noble. It allows them to be angry, cowardly, and greedy, but also cheerful, brave, and empathetic.
Who the fuck is Thurman? Is that you? Is your name Thurman?
Yeah.
Thurman Merman?
Yeah.
Hands up in chat.
Jesus.
With relation to Jeff, while many of us can't relate to the feeling of being addicted to heroin for well over a decade, we can certainly understand the feeling of sadness. While we may not be able to put ourselves directly in the shoes of an addict, we can somewhat relate to the adversity that comes with it, not to mention the incredible magnitude of the situation he is going through in this video. How he responds to this very moment is quite literally the precursor to his entire future. He is at a crossroad moment in life, where on one side is the possibility of hope, and on the other side is the outright guarantee of despair. The long-term path he goes down will be the consequences of the short-term choices he makes, all of which have to be judged and decided on while going through the early stages of heroin withdrawal.
I need methadone.
You need methadone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Methadone?
I don't have any. Do you have medication for it, or a prescription for it? Or?
No.
What do you need methadone for?
Cause I'm a fucking junkie, and you guys, I can't get no methadone. I'm gonna go through withdrawal here in a minute.
Where do you usually get your methadone from?
I don't get it. I get heroin.
So methadone is a medication. Oh my god.
This is, my grandma made this here.
Oh wow. Thank you.
The last Diet Coke I have.
Thank you. This is amazing. What is this?
Pastırmalı börek. It's a börek. Turkish. There's cheese and a meat in it, like a type of meat.
It smells great.
Yeah.
God bless you. I was just talking about methadone and that it's a real problem.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh my
god.
god.
So good.
Hell yeah.
Pastırma is like a dried meat that's like spiced for preservation on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
That's why getting like a little bit of a spicy taste, aftertaste.
It's so good. I love your grandma.
Yeah. My brother and his girlfriend are here too. The whole family's here.
Wait, hold on. But just the methadone thing.
Oh yeah.
It's just that it's a medication that people need when they're going through withdrawal. It's also something that people use so that they can get off of heroin. and you know, a lot of jails and prisons provide it to people, and I don't think a lot of people know that necessarily, that it's not like it's a medication that people need. Same with Suboxone, yeah. So I don't know, it's just something to, like, you know, he's talking about he's not getting methadone. Imagine, like, basically not getting medication, so he's probably in tremendous pain right now. Just something to think about.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Hasan.
No, what I was gonna say is fun fact, but not so fun. Isn't Suboxone the one that's also the one that was created by Purdue?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they created the problem with OxyContin, and then they created the solution, which is, you know.
Right. And I think also, like, even not getting too back into it, but, like, yeah, these bad actors who do these things, the Sackler family, you know, creating the entire opioid crisis, basically, who are never held accountable in any sincere way. Stuff like that. And when I was in law school, I went to a fancy law school, and
where'd you go?
I don't want to say.
Oh, really?
Well,
it's not public?
It's I went to Columbia, but it's not a big
flex, dude. Why'd you flex like that? Wow. Wow,
But,
dude. Oh yeah,
I hate you so
just
much.
leak your fucking LSAT score too.
Yeah,
like,
okay. So anyway, when I was there,
what was your LSAT score?
I'm not telling you.
Oh, come on.
No, I don't want to say.
Come on.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying that. What are you talking about? We're not talking about that.
Okay,
it's
go
not
on.
important. So I was in a legal writing class, and I was puppy. Hey, puppy.
Hayır. Çıkarır mısın? Ben çıkardım. Ciş yaptı sadece. My mom thinks she needs to poop. That's why she's barking, and she's probably right.
Okay.
Go on.
Anyway, I was in a legal writing class, and they had just done this big expose about the Sacklers, and I was saying how, I thought it was unethical to be a lawyer who represented, you know, people like the Sacklers. Like, I thought it was an ethical choice that people could make and determine who they're representing. And the professor for this writing class was the personal family attorney of the Sacklers. So you can imagine how that went. It was not great. It's pretty funny. She was very nice, you know. Sometimes people doing bad things are interpersonally very nice. And I know it's complicated. You know, the funny thing about doing public defense work is sometimes people are like, yeah, see, like, you agree everybody deserves a defense, just like I think, you know, DuPont Chemical deserves a defense when they poison a town. And it's like, I think you can make choices about the people you represent and how they represent them, and the power structures you choose to support, you know? That's all I'm saying. Anyway, we're Gucci. Let's do it. Jeff.
How long you been using heroin?
Long time, buddy. What are you trying to talk to me about here?
You're not gonna eat it?
I am.
Better eat that, bro.
Look, here's the deal. Either you're in a bad set of circumstances, or you went and committed an armed robbery last night.
Yeah, right? I'm in a shitty, wrong place at wrong time. Obviously, I didn't commit no fucking armed robbery.
All right, then let's talk about this. Let's
I
not
don't talk to the police, man.
I think it's in your best interest to.
How?
Man.
I don't talk to the
sitting
police.
Here, okay.
I've been through the system, buddy. I know how it works.
By the way, okay, you might disagree with this. This is not a JCS thing, but one thing I've seen in all of my years of watching interrogation videos is the more comfortable the person is in handcuffs, the more likely they've been through the fucking system. This dude will literally just like sit there in the interrogation room. Is he handcuffed right now? Yes. Yeah, he's just sitting there like it's totally normal. And as someone who has been handcuffed, let me tell you something. It is an incredibly fucking uncomfortable situation. If you're like not used to it, he's hella fucking casual about it.
Yeah.
That's how you know someone's been run through a little bit.
Yeah. And I think that's sad.
Yeah.
I know you have.
You're not my friend.
I'm not your friend.
Like he's like using his hands, even though he's handcuffed, when speaking, like that other guy that we watched like a while back, if you remember.
Trying to fucking get me, or you're
No,
trying
I'm not trying to get
all
you.
you're trying to get is some fucking stupid ass fucking confession, and you're not gonna get one.
Jeff, I'm not going to get a confession out of you for nothing.
Exactly, because I
And
didn't
I'm
do
not
nothing.
trying to get a confession out of you.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you, I didn't commit no armed robbery, and y'all ain't got no fucking evidence saying I did. Let me go. All you did is find me sitting in my buddy's house because my fucking buddy's dog's going ape shit. I go outside, there are cops everywhere, and they spotlight me. They say, "Come here." I said, "What's up?" They search me. They ain't find
Hang on.
nothing. What's
Let
up?
me read this.
No.
before- Yes.
Because I'm not going to sign it.
You don't have to sign it. But let me read it for you. Okay?
I'm not signing nothing.
You don't have to sign it.
Why
I'll
are
read
you reading it
You
then?
already read it to me earlier.
I know we did, but I'm going to read it to you again.
Thanks for the coat.
You're welcome. Before we ask any questions, you must understand what your rights are. If you cannot afford a lawyer and want one, a lawyer will be provided for you.
When he's
If you
like
decide to
getting
answer
up.
questions now without a lawyer present, you will still have the right. You also have the right to stop answering at any time until you talk to a lawyer. Do you understand the rights I've explained to you?
No.
Huh? Okay. Tell me what happened last night. Plain and simple. Your side of the story.
I'm not talking to you. I'm warning
Oh,
Hell yeah.
all right. This is
I
what I
told
don't
you this was-
understand.
I told you
I
this
know,
was
but
gonna
this is
happen.
what I don't understand, Jeff. You were sitting there talking just like you were ready to sit here and tell me what happened last night, and then all of a sudden I read that to you, and you screw it, I ain't talking to you. I want a lawyer. I don't understand that. What
wanted us to
changed?
go
Just
to
in
maybe.
Because I told you what. I already told you what happened.
You didn't.
How didn't I?
You didn't tell me what happened last night.
How didn't I
But-
just tell you what?
But now you've handcuffed me, and I can't.
Chatter asks, isn't everything now on inadmissible because he said he wants a lawyer?
I think it becomes a fight at that point. Like, it should, hypothetically be inadmissible at that point because the right to counsel is attached. But then he's obviously detained. But, it becomes something you slog it out. But yes.
They still extract information out of you, and
They
will try to.
They try.
Yeah.
Talk to you because you asked for an
Well,
attorney.
how
He said,
didn't
by
I
the way,
just
this
tell
is
you
good.
what?
He just
How
look.
didn't I?
You didn't tell me what happened last night.
How didn't I
But-
just tell you what?
But now you've handcuffed me, and I can't talk to you because you asked for an
Well,
attorney.
you
So, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, bro.
But
Saying
I
it
will
to the
tell
guy
you right
in the
now, you're
handcuffs that
still
you
on hold
handcuffed
for
me.
robbery.
I know. I don't know why I need a fucking lawyer because obviously I didn't do nothing, and obviously you guys know I didn't do nothing because I've been arrested for the same bullshit before, and you guys don't interview me this much. So, wham bam, thank you for the coke. Put me back in the cell.
Yeah, he didn't want to say at that time I was guilty, but I mean, this is a wonderful. I mean, spoiler alert: there's a good ending to this, but like, it's a great way to describe to chatters who don't understand how these like sorts of interrogations work. That like, no, they don't care that this person is fucking innocent or guilty. They just. He's the guy. He's the perp. He's the suspect.
He's the one they picked
so
up.
they're just trying to fucking make it stick on him. And if you have a criminal background like he does, or if you're an addict also on top of that too, it's just like, it's so easy to write it. That's why all of the post hoc rationalizations and the justifications for like murders in the hands of the police or any kind of like brutality or murders in the hands of deputized civilian like the Jordan Neely case is basically the media also doing that. They're fitting a narrative. They're basically saying like, no, this person deserved it. This person deserved to have this happen to them.
What's that?
Just fuck with it. All right. I know we did this twice, but I got to do it again every time, okay? Before I ask you any questions, I got to read your rights. You understand that? Okay. Go ahead and sign there. Let me take your gift off.
Look, I'm not signing nothing. I don't want
Okay, you don't have to sign anything. You understand your rights, though, right?
Yeah.
That's all I need. A verbal yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
When's this coke gonna be here? Or is that just a fairy tale?
It's coming. He's getting it right now. He'll be here in about 2 minutes. He has to walk to the soda machine. It tastes good.
Mm-hmm.
I have enough evidence
Like what?
Of the armed robbery, okay? But, you know, if you're saying you didn't do it, you need to give me your side of the story.
I didn't do it.
Okay, well, give me your side of the story. You got, I mean, convince me. Because I got a lot of evidence. I got a lot of physical evidence.
Well, like what? Name the physical.
Well, I don't need to, why should I tell you that? I mean, you haven't been helpful to me at all.
Oh yeah, you're naked. Hold on.
I don't believe that you got any evidence.
Where I was in the pool.
There's only a couple pieces of evidence I'm missing.
Name them.
What's that?
Name them.
Well, why do I need to do that? You haven't helped me out at all. You give me a little bit, I give you a little bit. We go back and forth. I give you one of my pieces of evidence, now give me a little something.
No, anything I say here can and will be used against me.
Sure, but anything you say here, I can also tell your parole officer that you helped me out.
That doesn't mean dick. There's no way. I didn't do it. There's no way.
How drunk were you? Were you drunk?
No, I was pretty sober.
So you're in your right mind. You remember everything about the night, right? So you couldn't have done something not remembered. You couldn't have gone and robbed the place and not remembered?
Fuck, no.
Okay, so you would remember if you robbed the place.
Fuck,
so I'm willing to go to the prosecutor, I'm willing to go to the parole officer and say, this guy's a good guy, he helped me out.
Look, he's trying to extract a fucking guilty plea or like a confession out of him by subtly threatening him because like, yeah, well, you have a record already. Like, I'm going to go to your probation officer. You're a fucking piece of shit. You're a garbage person. And look, even if you're like a liberal who's like, oh, I love cops, they're supposed to do the right thing. Like, this is the wrong thing, okay? So that's why I always say, like, police, even in theory, are not doing what they are supposed to be doing. Like, the job that they're designed to do, in theory, what you see in Hollywood movies, is to, like, solve crimes, catch criminals, shit like that, right? You're not catching a criminal in this circumstance. So technically, you're allowing the actual person who did the crime, which, by the way, is, like, armed robbery, I believe, right? Is armed robbery, which is, you know, another crime of in most circumstances, a crime of necessity. Because no one who's fucking rich is going to do an armed robbery. That only happens in like movies. I was just watching Heat last night. Yeah, it's very good. So that's the whole point. Isn't Jeff a lawyer? I think he might be. I'm not entirely sure what happened to him, but I know he's like clean and he's like he has like YouTube and stuff. Like he's spoiler alert, chat. Spoiler alert. Okay, but yeah, he's good. But anyway, let's continue.
I know you don't want to go back to jail, right? Back to prison.
Well, fuck. It looks like I am if and you're going to charge me with some bogus shit. You guys don't, I mean, what do you got?
Yeah, this is a good take, too. He's also going all through this. He's also, throughout all this, starting to go through withdrawal. Imagine you're diabetic getting interrogated and saying, I need my insulin, and some pig fuck is not giving it to you. Yeah. But the way we receive people with diabetes is different than the way we look at addicts, because we look at addicts as criminals, because addiction is treated like a crime and not like an illness or a disease. So that's the reason why you can get away with fucking doing this shit. Diabetics are fat, so they're second class too, bro. Damn, Marat came in with a fat acceptance movement line right here. You guys missed it. I don't know if you could hear him, but because the noise gate is off, he said, some people heard it.
It's not good.
It's diabetics are fat. So they're treated as second-class citizens and as criminals.
Not really. That I was at a buddy's house and I happened to come outside because you guys were fucking swarming the area and they
Which door did you come out of?
I came out of the front door. You know what? I'm not saying myself, man. I'm done, man. Fuck this. The only reason I came up here is to get a fucking Coke.
You're not getting out.
Oh, no. I can't finish it?
Make it quick.
It's nice that they let him finish it.
I got things to do.
Butterfinger problem.
I said we'd see what happens.
You got to get it before, man.
All right. Like I said, you haven't helped me out at all. Why should I help you out? I got you a soda. That's good enough.
Jeff was...
Thanks, man. Thanks for the soda. I got you a soda. This like he just doesn't even fucking treat him like a human being, dude.
Released from custody just under 12 hours later. And that takes us to the final and perhaps the most important component of an anti-hero, the conclusion, which unfortunately in this particular case is unknown. The final outcome of this story will vary depending on the source. Some with a happy ending, others a cautionary tale. One legend has it that Jeff got clean soon after his release, and now works in the corporate marketing team for Coca-Cola, while another states that he was picked up the day after for the same charge, and is now facing down a 15-year sentence in Georgia State.
No. We know what the ending is. Oh, this video is older. I think there's a newer version of this. Damn, there was another guilty until proven innocent, falsely accused video that we could have watched as well. But we found out later. I think someone needs to link an article.
If we go by the Hollywood formula, an anti-hero's actions throughout the course of their life are so drastic and single-minded that they only ever lead to salvation or destruction, and their final decision is always dictated by what they have learned and how they have changed throughout the course of the story. The paradox here is that we don't even need the theme of imprisonment to mold the outcome of this particular story, as the theme of addiction is more than enough. Whether he goes to prison or not, Jeff will either manage to get clean and rebuild his life, or he won't. He is headed for salvation or destruction no matter what, and that single concept can perhaps define Jeff as an anti-hero. His outcome is a mystery, but either way it goes, it most certainly conforms to the anti-hero's ending.
All right.
Santa!
Yeah.
You're bringing my present early?
What?
No.
But I never told you what I wanted.
I said I didn't bring it, dipshit.
Okay, good. I want a stuffed elephant. A pink one.
Well, wish in one hand, shit in the other one. See which one fills up first.
Yeah. The Legend of Jeff JCS is YouTube. This is his YouTube channel. He got fucking 665K subs. I think he became a lawyer, if I'm not mistaken. Violent Karens, what the fuck? Nauseating drone footage.
Respect, Jeff.
I uploaded this 25 minutes ago, 100 views. Let's go. Yes, the gunshot wound in the eye one is like... Oh, yeah, here. We watched this, like, when it...
Hold on. But then look at my shoes. Just showing up unannounced to the prosecutor's office because the note basically said, due to COVID-19 pandemic and complications that could arise, I shouldn't have to show up. And I don't think I should because my defense could suffer because I live 2 hours away from where my tickets are. So what the fuck, man? They gotta grant me that shit. Who's with me? And yeah, I fucking overdressed, so what?
Let's go, Jeff.
You gotta fucking give them a preview of what's to come in court. You'd be surprised. People take you much more serious. Don't pay attention to my shoe because I didn't think they'd see them, and they didn't. She wasn't even there, so I just left her a note. So I got all dressed up for nothing.
I don't know. Is he defending himself or?
I don't know, but
yeah. Well, I'm glad he's out.
I wish him well.
Okay, you know who I don't wish well? You. Why do I not wish you well? Because you're about to fucking do some public defense, some pro bono work. Let's go. Finally. No, we're not watching a sovereign citizen video. We are watching the sovereign citizens of this community. That's right. The band. Those who are now voiceless. Those who have been struck by the mighty arm of the law. And by that I mean me and my moderation team. It's been a long time. We haven't done banana peels in a long time. But given that this is a community that believes in rehabilitative, restorative justice, we believe in the capacity to change, make amends for past bad behavior. There was approximately 5,000 ban appeals, and Lake is the GOAT, whittled it down to like 1,885 or something along those lines. If one of the mods could tell me.
Justice delayed is justice denied, Hasan. And honestly, hearing this, I am shocked and appalled.
Yeah, well, he's already started. Look at this fucking guy. Okay. All right. Does anyone have a link for the ban appeals mods? I don't know how to do it. Ace Attorney OST. Sure, I'll play the Ace Attorney OST. Fuck it. Why not? This is only 45 seconds, man. Do you have the full OST? Here it is. Popping it out. Here's the pop out. Pop out. Okay, let's get started. Let's get ready to rumble. folks, we're gonna go with we're gonna go with oldest first. This is from 2 years ago. The criminal's name is Fadman, account created November 1st, 2015. Said, I'm a Kurd and you are the reason I still have hope for Turks. And then, which was great, but last thing he said was, I'm not going to say that out loud, but you're defending him. So maybe you want to say, what is this criminal's offense?
You know, I think the only thing that my client is guilty of in this case is a typographical error.
What does that even mean?
I mean, we.
Oh, this is his defense, by the way. Would you like to read your client's appeals defense?
Yes. Okay. Sorry. What is that you've highlighted at the bottom?
That's what he said. That's his appeals defense. That's what he wrote to.
Yeah, and I think, you know, so already this person is expressing to you that they recognize that they've done something, you know, wrong here. They've expressed remorse. They've done some soul searching, and they let you know that they are not going to be, you know, creating harm in this way going forward in the future. So I mean, like that. You know, we don't know exactly the context. This is how many years old? This is from this is banned at 2021. Okay, it's not that old.
It's not that old.
All right.
But I mean, that's a long time for chatting. They could have changed. Let's look at the mod comment. Let's see what the prosecutors have. Let's see context. Hasan was reacting to Rice Gum / cutie drama. Rice Gum is Asian.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great.
But he's the bad guy in this drama and in most dramas.
Don't know if...
Is that justifiable?
Is the racism justifiable? That's what you're asking.
I want you to say it.
I'm not going to be saying that. So I do think now that the court has been provided with this additional context, it really kind of underscores the fact that the message about loving this channel, loving this community, recognize that they made a mistake, and then they're never gonna this again. I'm never gonna this again.
Yeah. See, here's how I would have defended this one.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
If I was in your shoes, I would have said, clearly this is someone who is not from the United States of America, and this... that English is his second language. He is Kurdish and possibly suffering under the thumb of the oppressive Erdogan regime, as he calls him a terrorist numerous times. And that in a heated moment, he basically gave a fraction of that same oppression that he receives on a daily basis from the Turkish state back to the HasanAbi broadcast and had a lapse of judgment.
Okay.
That's what I would have said, which he will never gonna diss again.
That's right. He said it. He said he's never gonna diss again.
The jury, how do you feel? Yays or nays in the chat? It's been a long time. Lots of yays. All right. I'm banned.
My God.
Justice is served like that. All right, next up.
I didn't realize you
Daltar.
didn't even think about being put in this situation.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't. Okay, look at this one. Daltar. Yep, Fuel. Hasan, you look like a pedo right now. Hags.
What is...
a pedophile.
No. What is hags? Like, have a great summer?
No, I think he meant... No, I think he just was trying to probably say haha.
Haha.
Like,
maybe he was saying, you look like a pedo, have a great summer.
Like, why would he want a pedophile to have a good summer? I guess one that looks like one.
But again, I mean, I don't want to... Okay. People of the jury,
Okay, read what you said.
Hasan, I'm sorry it was a joke, and I love you. I watch you a lot and promise not to make any more pedo jokes. I had just watched your roast on YouTube and was feeling roasty toasty, you know? Anyways, sorry. That seems like a sincere expression of remorse.
I'm bad. Okay, this one is Turkish. It's gonna be hard. I can provide interpretive services for you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, he says peaky blinder blender fuck. And then he says, abi oje mi sürdün amına koyayım ya top. Which means, bro, did you put on nail polish? Fuck your pussy, you ball. Ball means gay. It's a pejorative for gay in Turkish.
Okay.
Not as bad as like the F word, but still a pejorative.
Sure. And then what does he say in his...
And he says, lan nereden buldun beni amına koyayım ya. Neyse özür dilerim abi, Allah'a emanet. He says, I don't know how you found me. Fuck. Anyway, I'm sorry. Let God be with you.
Okay. Okay. So he did apologize.
Uh-huh.